don't know if anyone was listening to the news in the course of the week, but scientists at a university have applied science to storytelling and have established through clever science that I don't entirely understand, to do with analysis of linguistic patterns and social patterns and populations across Europe, that something I think we all knew intuitively, perhaps, but had never had demonstrated, is true, that stories are really, really old. And more particularly, some of the stories that we don't think are particularly old are really, really old, like some of the main fairy tales and folk tales can be dated back not just hundreds, but in some cases thousands of years, speculatively to a certain extent, but through good academic guesswork, thousands of years. And so I thought I would tell the oldest one, or a variant on the oldest one, to celebrate, as it were, its birthday. So this is a story that, in one form or another, this excites me so much. I hope the story I tell lives up to my own expectation. One way or another has been around since the Stone Age. Wow. So that's pretty impressive, right? Yeah. So this variant on it, though, has all kinds of tropes that I'm not going to tell it in a Stone Age way. I'm not going to tell it in Indo-European. I'm sorry. But the form of it, at least, is very old indeed, and it's called The Blacksmith and the Devil. And this is roughly how it goes. Once, not twice, and never again, there was a smith called John, and people called him Black John because, well, his hair was black, and because of the job that he did, he was often singed and sooted, but mostly because he had a black heart. Oh, he was a blackguard, no doubt. If there was a trick he could pull, he'd pull it. If there was a scam he could perform, he'd scam it. If there was a foolish prank he could play, he'd play it. He fiddled his friends, he diddled his customers, and with the fiddling and the diddling and the playing and the pulling, it's a miracle he ever laid hammer to horseshoe. But he did. In fact, I've heard it said that, you know that, there's a saying, isn't it, to lose the war for want of a nail, because the nail doesn't go to the horseshoe and the horse doesn't take the artery and all that kind of stuff. He was responsible for that. He was the blacksmith who didn't supply the nail. That's how mean-spirited, black-hearted Black John was. But in his heart of black hearts, what he was above all things was contrary. You know, you find people like that, don't you? Whatever most people did, he'd do the opposite. And since most people are good, he generally did wrong. And because people are mostly right-minded, he was wrong-headed. And that's why this story happens. And it befell, one day, as he was working in his forge, sweating over the roaring, I don't know much about metallurgy, frankly, so I don't know. Furnace, I guess. A furnace of some sort. Furnace. He looked out and could see down the other end of the high street, the only street, not a very big village. In my head it's Killingfold. I don't know why it's Killingfold, but it is. There was a forge once in Killingfold. He could see shambling along the road an old man. I mean, this chap was raddled with age. The centuries laid heavy on his back. He was purulent and fetid with age, and Black John couldn't help but notice that as he made his way along the high street, the goodly burghers of, let's call it Chiddingfold, shied away from him. Ah, hypocrites, said Black John. Churchgoers are they? See them scorn this mendicant? I shall do the opposite. And he did. He invited him in. Come in. He wanted all the villagers to see. He was playing a prank on the villagers to show them up for the hypocrites they were. And he had the old man come in. Let me wait upon you, hand and foot, he says. And he did. Once foot and hand had been duly waited upon, and Black John was beginning to think to himself, well, we fed him and I watered him. Now what do I do with him? It's not much of a joke, is it? It's not much of a prank. I sling him out. As he was thinking that, the old man rose from his seat to his full and impressive height, and the years sloughed off him, and he stood there in shining robes. And Black John said, "Who the hell are you?" And St. Peter said, "I am St. Peter. What are you doing in my forge? I am sent every year by God to see if Christians are doing their duty, and the first person who acts in a Christian way to me, who does good to me, I reward with a kindness, and my kindness is this: I will grant you 3 wishes. Black John, suspicious, but running with it, says, oh, right, very well, I have 3 wishes. Good, says St. Peter, and what would they be? And Black John says, they are this. See that hammer? That hammer keeps getting pinched by the village kids and others who borrow it to go and do their DIY. It's not Stone Age, is it? As they said in the Stone Age, DIY. They don't return it when I need it, and they leave it rusting in the rain. My wish is this: anyone who touches that hammer, it sticks to their hand and smashes them in the face until I say stop. And St. Peter says, well, it's not actually exactly what I had in mind, but you promised. Well, I did promise. Yes, you may have that wish. What is your second wish? Perhaps it's more pious. Oh, I wouldn't count that, says Black John. See this rocking chair? Yes, says St. Peter. This rocking chair, that's my favourite rocking chair. That's where I like to rock my evenings away with, get drunk. That's what I like to do in my rocking chair. And every customer that comes into my benighted forge, every single one lays their fat backside into that rocking chair and creaks and won't get out. So, whoever sits in that rocking chair, let them stick there, says I, let it rock back and forth and batter their head on the backboard until I say stop. Well, I'm not in touch. You promise. Very well, says St. Peter. Perhaps with the last one I could guide you towards something more along the lines of perhaps, considering your immortal soul. My third wish, says Black John, is, you see that blackthorn tree wrapped around with briar and bramble, dog rose and bramble. That's a boon to me, that tree. I loves that tree. I do, with its spray of white in the spring, and pink in the summer, and the rose hips, and the sloes, and the blackberries. I loves that tree. But every Tom, Dick, and Harry in the village comes and takes switches off it for May blossom, and strips it bare of its hips and haws. So, the very next person that touches that tree, says Black John, I wish that it draws them into its bosom with its prickles and its thorns, and pricks and thorns them. Did I say stop? Oh, very well, says St. Peter. Fine, 3 wishes, I'm off. But blessed be. And St. Peter leaves. Well, not much more time passes, and to be honest, Black John doesn't really think about it very much, because he's too busy being mean and evil. And it gets meaner and more evil, until it gets to a point where the devil now is paying close attention. Because if one thing the devil hates above all, it's people getting a better reputation for being evil than the devil. That can't be allowed to happen. So this one must be called in. So he assembles a crack team of demons. We've been here before. A crack team, 2 this time, a little tiny one and a medium-sized one. And he says to his tiny demon, you must go forth and bring me the blacksmith. Are you entirely sure that's a good idea? Says the littlest demon. You remember what happened with the peasant and the fart a few hundred years ago? Don't mind about that. Off you go. To blacksmith, we'll make an exception. And so off the little demon goes. He comes to the blacksmith's shop in his form, and he says, confronts the blacksmith, and the blacksmith sees him. The demon. You must come, says the demon, really trying to be impressive. For my master, the Lord Beelzebub Thesaurus, commands that you come to hell. And the blacksmith says, oh, very well. I'll come along with you. But I feel bad not finishing this job, what I got on here. I've got to fix this wheel onto this here car. It's going to take me a devil, no pun intended, devil of a long time. And this, why don't you let me a hand? Pick up that hammer. And the little demon leans over without thinking and picks up the hammer and smashing him in the face. Make it stop! Make it stop! Oh, I'll make it stop, says the blacksmith. I'll make it stop as soon as you promise to get you from my forge and never show yourself here again. And the little demon agrees. Yes, very well, make it stop, make it stop, make it stop! Stop! It stops, it falls from his hand, the little demon runs away, back to hell. Tells Beelzebub Thesaurus what happened. Beelzebub, oh, you're useless. Fire, You, middle demon, you go and find the blacksmith. And off the middle demon goes. And arrives in the forge. Now, my Lord Master, I don't know why he's like this, but here he is anyway. Black John's a pirate for some reason. That's the way these things go. My master, the Lord Beelzebub Satanas, commands that you come with me to the nether regions of hell, for your time has come. Ha ha ha, mwah ha 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 ha. Black John says, oh, fair enough, slap on the cuffs, throw away the key. You got me, you got me. Now, and the middle demon, he's listened to the briefing, read the notes. He says, well, I'm not going to help you. I'm not going to help you with anything. No. I wasn't going to even suggest that, says Black John. I do want to finish this wheel, though. So you just sit yourself down in the corner there, and I'll put on this wheel. And the middle demon sits on the rocking chair, and he's going back and forth, and he's backing his head against the board. Make it stop, make it stop. I won't make it stop, says Black John. I'll make it stop as soon as you promise to get you from this forge and never show your face here again. And of course he says, yes, make it stop. He agrees. And it stops, and he races away, back to hell. Down in hell, Beelzebub Satanas. Oh, for goodness sakes. If you want a job doing properly, do it yourself. And so he goes up into the realm, and there he appears in the forge. With all the smoke and the sulphurous stench. You, Black John, your time has come. You must come to hell with me. I will not help you. I will not sit down. There is nothing you can make me do. I will not come quietly, says Black John. And of course, he's a smith. He's a powerful man. And the two of them battle. And they scrap and they punch and they roll outside. And the devil's getting the worst of it, in fact. And he reels back from the combat. And he looks behind him and says, I shall thrash you within an inch of your life. Let me get this thorn switch from the blackthorn. Whoa! And he's in the thorn bush. Ow, ow, ow. And he stops struggling after a bit. Everything goes very, very quiet, above the rustle of the thorns. And then a relatively small voice comes out from the thorn. I don't suppose you consider letting me go, would you? And Black John says, oh, I'll let you go. I'll make it stop, just as soon as you promise to never darken my door again. And Satan promises. And he's gone. And Black John survives. He survives, full of years, lives long, prospers, is mean and evil, and all that good stuff. But eventually, gets to a point in his life where there's not much left to do, so he decides to die, and he decides no one's coming for him, so he's got to go himself. And so he gets to think, I'll go to heaven. He says, goes up to heaven, the big pearly gates, and knocks on the door, and the little, there's one of the hatch things, and the little like this, and so Peter looks out. Oh, who is it? Oh, it's you, is it? Well, yes, says Black John, I'm dead. I think I should probably be in heaven. And St. Peter says, well, no, I don't think you should be in heaven. You've been very naughty. So no heaven for you. We might like to try the other place. This is the hatch. And Black John goes down to hell. Knocks on the door. Middle hatch. And Beelzebub the Satanas pokes his head in. Who is it? Oh, it's you. Is it? I'm dead, says Black John. Can I come in? The other place won't take me. Oh no, you're not coming in. I know your tricks. No. But there's one blackguard to the next. Wait there a moment. And then a long pair of tongs suddenly comes out of the hatch. Like this. And right at the end of the piece of tongs is a glowing piece of coal. Take that, says the devil. Take that with you and go and make your own hell somewhere else. And Black John goes. And, they say, is still going. And if ever you are travelling yourselves, and particularly this is the case, I think, in Lincolnshire and the Fens, but anywhere really, there are stories of will-o'-the-wisps and jack-o'-lanterns and lights that lead you astray. And that's what they are, by all accounts. It's Black John, still roaming with his hellfire coal, trying to find a home of his own. And that is my sort of 5,000-year-old story. Happy birthday, Blacksmith and the Devil. Thank you.